Hello everybody and welcome to this video tutorial. In this tutorial I'll be showing you how to make part 4 of Sophie's universe, which is going from the round mandala to the square garden. So we'll be making this part of the pattern. I'll be using a 3mm hook and a standard cotton yarn, specifically cotton 8 from Scheepjes. Now, to make this design you of course need the original pattern, which you can find online on lookatwhatimade.net. I'll also put a link in the description below this video exactly where you can find this pattern to Sophie's Universe Part 4, and it's been designed by Dedri Uys, and I have permission from her to make this video for you. If you'd like to see more work, you could also consider visiting my own website. It's allinanutshell.wordpress.com. Now, I'll be going step by step with you through the pattern. I hope this is a useful video for you, and thank you for watching. Round 26, we're going to start squaring off the mandala to the garden in this round, and we're going to start on any front post double crochet from round 24, and all our stitches were going to be back post stitches. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to literally flip my work over and work from the back, because this way it's just easier to make all those back post stitches. Now where you want to start is this stitch here. This is a front post double crochet. So this is the stitch you want to start in, so I'm just marking it like this. So, and if I flip my work the other way around, it is basically a front post, but because I'm working at the back, it becomes a back post single crochet. So one standing back post single crochet around the front post double crochet from round 24. Now on the next stitches, all make front post single crochet stitches. So that's 1, and I'm going to make 9 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're working single crochets around the posts of single crochets, and this can become very tight and tricky. But the good thing is that if you did choose to make the crab stitches in round 25, is that your crab stitches have actually helped to identify exactly where the posts are, because they've made the stitch itself a little more tight and compact. So that's actually a great help to you now. You see how far am I now? So that's the first stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I need to make one more. So this is number 9, like so. So I've now made 9 back post single crochets plus this first standing single crochet, and you can see them all here from the front. You can see the small stitches there. So, and now I'm ready to start on the repeat unit. Now, the repeat unit calls for 10 back post half double crochets. So working again still in the back, around the next post, make a half double crochet. So that's 1, and I'm going to be making 10 of these in a row. 1, and make sure that you do not accidentally skip a post. So always keep looking and make sure it's on every stitch you see your yarn from the front. That's 3. I'm going to make a small jump in the video here to 10. Just made 9 half double crochets in the back posts. So now I'm going to make number 10, like so, and that gives you, if you look from the front, you see that this stitch number 10 is just before the front post double crochet from round 24, so that's a marker for you. So if you've made 10 and it's on this stitch, you know that somewhere here you've skipped a stitch or you've miscalculated something. So next stitch is on this front post double crochet from round 24. And now we're going to be making 9 back post double crochets in the next 9 stitches. So yarn over, and indeed if I just show you from the front, it is like so. A double crochet worked around that post, so around this post and everything to the back. So that's 1, and you're going to keep on working like this. That's, for example, 2. I prefer working to the back of my work because then these back posts are just easier for me. And continue like this on the next 9 stitches, and working, take your time on these, work them one by one. Make sure you don't accidentally skip a stitch. So continue looking to the front, make sure that you've got every stitch covered, and do this 9 times, and then we're going to get to the corner. I'm going to make a small jump in the video again. I've just made the 9 double crochets on the back of those posts, and now we're going to make the corner. And so to make the corner stitch, we're going to be making back post treble crochets, and we're going to be making 3 of them on 1 stitch. So on this stitch here from the back, we're going to be making 3 trebles. So that's twice over, and I am going to work from the back. So around that stitch, like so, pick up my yarn and make 1, 2, 3 times through. So that's 1, again twice over, and on the same stitch, just slightly above it. So I'm going to stack my trebles bottom up. So that way it's just easiest for me. And then the third one on top of number 2. 1, 2, 3. So now I've made 3 trebles on this 1 stitch. Chain 2. So this is for the actual corner. And now I'm going to be making another treble over the next stitch from the back. So like so, exactly the same. 1, 2, 3. Again, same stitch, work another treble, 1, 2, 3, and the last one, another treble, 1, 2, 3. So you can see I've now made 6 trebles on 2 stitches. That's exactly what you're going for, because this will give you that corner. From here onwards, I'm going to do exactly what you've just done. Here I'm going to do in reverse order back. So I'm going to start with double crochets in the back, 9 double crochets around the back posts. So yarn over, and the next stitch, that is this stitch here, make a double crochet. So that's 1, oops, and make sure you don't skip any stitches by looking to the front of your work on a regular basis to make sure that each and every stitch actually contains that telltale stripe of yarn. And that's of course the easiest if you're using a different color than you did before, but I can't imagine that you would have the same color here. So have we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, and 8, and then the last one will be number 9. And this one, if all went well, is also exactly before the front post half double crochet from round 24, and you can see that number 9 is indeed just before. So luckily everything's still correct. So check these markers regularly to make sure that you're not accidentally skipping stitches or just having an offset to the left or to the right. So that's 9 double crochets on the back. Then we're going to be making 10 half double crochets in the back. So back post, let me just find this back post properly. And that's 1. I'm going to be making 10 back post double crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a time-consuming round. 7. But you want to do this properly. 8. Just need to get more yarn. This was 8, so this will be 9, and we're making 10 in total. So this will be number 10, like so. Just check from the front that I haven't accidentally skipped anything. No, I have not. So 10 half doubles, and now in the next 20 stitches I'm going to be making 20 single crochets on the back. So again, on the next stitch, front to back, well, if you're at the back at least, that's 1, 2, and you continue like this until you've made 20, and that will bring you to the beginning of the repeat units again, where you will be making half double crochets and again working your way up towards the next corner, and those 20 stitches will bring you to this point here in the middle, and then you start working up again. So I know this is a very cumbersome round, but you need this in order to square up. So take your time on this, and I'll see you on round 27. Round 27, and good news, in this round you get to work just in the normal stitches again, so in the normal position as we always do, no working in the back anymore. I'm going to start with a standing single crochet if you have a new color yarn, like I do. If you don't, chain 1 and a single crochet in the stitch where we ended. So that will be this stitch here. So where we made the slip stitch join, start with a single crochet, and do the same in the next 13 stitches. So make 13 single crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That will be 10, 11, 12, 13, and this goes considerably quicker than working back post stitches. 13 plus, of course, that first one gives you 14 single crochets in total. Then in the next 3 stitches we're going to work a half double crochet, and this is also at the beginning of the repeat unit. Next 3 stitches, half double crochet. Just got my yarn all twisted. Here we go. So this is 1, 2, and 3. So 3 half double crochets, and after the 3 half double crochets I'm going to be making 12 double crochets, and these 12 will bring you up to the corner, and the last one of these 12 should also fall in the stitch just before the 3 trebles, because we're going towards the trebles in the corner. So if you're making 12, then you're just short of those 3 trebles. So make sure to count your stitches correctly and verify that you're still on track. And I'm going to work to the marker. That's normally how I work. Then I go back and count and check that I'm still correct, because you can never count too many stitches, is my experience. Always keep counting. So this is the marker. So these 3 trebles is where I should stop. So this should be the last stitch, and then these should be 12. So let's just double check that together. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's correct, because these are the half doubles. So that's correct. And what we're going to do now is we're not going to be working in these treble stitches here. We're actually going to skip them. What we're going to do is we're going to be making 6 double crochets in the corner here. So directly skipping those, make 6 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and move them up 4, 5, and 6. So now I've made 6 double crochets in this space, followed by a picot. So that is chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then go back in that first chain stitch. So that's first chain 1, there we go. Pick up the loop and make a slip stitch. Like so, yes, there we go. And now we're going to be making 6 more double crochets in this same space. So you're really going to have to move these up and really make room, because it's going to be a tight squeeze for 12 double crochets in that space. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and number 6, like so. See how you've made a very tight fitting corner here. Just double check your stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, made 12 in total. Now, I'm going to go the other way again. And again, indeed, we're going to be working just the opposite of what we did here. So we're going to be skipping those 3 trebles and then make 12 double crochets. Just moving Sophie around a little bit because she keeps on getting bigger. So skipping these trebles, so 1, 2, 3 trebles. So this is the first stitch I'm going to enter into, because these two stitches are from the treble, but that first stitch from the treble is actually hidden by these double crochets here. So I know there's one underneath there, 2, 3. So this stitch here is my first stitch that I want to enter into, that one, like so. That's 1, 2, and I'm going to make a small jump in the video until 12 double crochets. Just made 12 double crochets. I'm going to be making 3 half double crochets, so that's 1, 2, 3, and finally 28 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and these 28 will bring you to the halfway mark, will bring you to the other side, and that will then, when you get here, you're essentially at the same point as you were here. Am I still in view? So this point here is the same as this point here, and then you can start the repeat unit again. So in total 28 single crochets and then repeat, and I will see you for the next round. On to round 28. Got a new color yarn on my hook. This is actually the same color as the color we did the back post stitches in. And we're going to start with a single crochet, a standing single crochet in the corner on the picot stitches. So in the middle of this picot, enter into it and make a single crochet, like so. Chain 4, and this is already immediately the beginning of the repeat unit. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 chain stitches, and now we're going to be making trebles, clusters. So you remember how we've made clusters before, so now we're also going to be making them, but with a treble and as a front post around these 3 trebles from round 26. So a treble cluster, so a front post treble cluster. So twice over because it's a treble, and then around that first treble make a back post, or a front post I should say, a front post treble. That's 1, 2. I'm not going to take off the last one because I want to make a cluster. Again, twice over. Now the second one, again make a front post and take off 1, 2 times. Got 3 loops of yarn, and again twice over, and then the third one, and again 1, 2, and now I have 4 loops on my hook, and I take all of these off in one go, like so. You can see I have now made a cluster of trebles around these 3 posts from round 26. Chain 2, 1, 2. Now we're going to be skipping 4 stitches after these 6. If we go here to the back, so these 6 double crochets, I'm going to skip those, and 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. So this stitch here, number 5, is the one we're going for, and we're going to be making half double crochets in these 2 stitches. So yarn over, so we're skipping stitch 1, 2, 3, 4, and in this stitch I'm going to be making a half double crochet. It's 1 and 2, like so. See, what you've made. So skipping those first 4 stitches and then 2 half double crochets. Again chain 2, again skipping 2 stitches, so 1, 2, and now make 2 half double crochets again. Oops, 1 and 2, like so. Again chain 2 and then skipping 2 stitches, but now we're going to be making 2 single crochets. So chain 2, skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then here, there we go, a single crochet and another 2 single crochets. And this we're now going to repeat we're going to do this 9 times, so I've just done it once, so I need to do it 8 more times. So chain 2, 1, 2 stitches, I need to skip, and then 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2. Going to continue like this until I've made 9 of these chain 2 and 2 single crochet stitches. So this little mini set here, chain 2, skip 2 and 2 single crochets. So I'm quickly going to make a jump, after which I will have 9 of these little units. I've just made 9 of these little units, so these chain 2 units and the single crochet units, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and these are again the half doubles from the beginning. Just made 9 of these, then chain 2, skip 2 stitches, that's 1, 2, and in the next stitch going to make a half double crochet this time, and a second, so it's 2 half doubles, again chain 2, skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and make a half double crochet, 1, and now because your pattern is completely symmetrical, you should have 4 stitches left before your this flower petal here. So that is in the 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's your check, these stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you have 5 or 3, you know something went wrong somewhere. Okay, and now we're ready to go and make another series of clusters around these stitches here. And we're going to do that in exactly the same way as we've done on the other side. First make a chain 2, twice over, because we're going to make a treble. Around the first treble, make a front post stitch, and take over once, twice, but not the last time. Again, 2 loops over, and the center treble, make a front post treble around that, but only up until 1, 2, like so. So 3 loops on your hook, twice over, take the last one, and 1, 2, so I've got 4 loops on my hook, all of them in one go. So now again you've made a cluster stitch around the 3 trebles from round 26. Chain 4, and then you're almost 2, 3, 4, like so. Now you're almost at the beginning of the repeat unit again. The last step is a single crochet in the picot. So enter into that picot, which of course I'm having difficulty with. There we go. Into the middle of it, make a single crochet, and now you're at the beginning of the repeat unit again. So again, chain 4 and make then your cluster stitch on these 4 trebles over there. And do this 3 more times to completely go around the square. So when you've completed the round, work away your ends of yarn and then fold over your corners like so. I'll show you here once more. This is the chain 4 spaces between the clusters. Fold these over to the back, taking the picot with it and bringing up that flower. And then you're all done and ready for the next round. Round 29, I have a new color yarn on my hook, and I'm going to start with a standing half double crochet in the second of these first 2 stitches directly after the corner. So in this second stitch here, on that first little mini cluster there, mini group, make a standing half double crochet. Now we're going to be making front post treble crochets around these 2 stitches here. So these are the stitches from round 27, and what's important to realize here is that we need to work underneath the chain 2 space, so not over it or to the left or to the right, but these 2 stitches directly below the chain 2 space. I'm going to be making 2 front post trebles, so twice over, and this is the first one. I'm going to be making a front post treble around it. 1, 2, 3, and also a second one on the next stitch. Front post treble, 1, 2, 3, like so. You can see that you've made 2 trebles directly below that chain 2 space, and of course the standing half double crochet. Now what's important here is that next we're going to be making a chain 2, and our next stitch is going to be again on these 2 here, but now we're going to be making front post double crochets around these 2 stitches. So make sure front post double, not a treble. So over, skip those 2, and then here front post double crochet, and on the next one also front post double crochet. You'll notice that in the pattern this is in red and bold and underlined and everything, and that's just to really make you see that these should be a double, because many people accidentally make this a treble. And we're going to be repeating this 10 times. So this chain 2 and these 2 front post double crochets. I'll show you once more. Chain 2, skip these 2, and then on the next one and 2. Again, you can see how you've worked directly below the chain 2 space and in front of your work. So I'm going to make a jump in the video, because this we're going to now repeat until you have 10 of these front post units, double crochet units with the chain 2. Show you one more and then I'll make the jump. Chain 2, skip these 2 stitches, and then here 1 front post. So this is around a single crochet, and a next front post, like so. So I've now made 10 of these little units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 double crochets and chain 2s between them, and the double crochet was worked into round 27 as front posts. Chain 2, 1, 2, and now we're working a treble. So skip these two, and here work a treble front post. And this is of course to complement the treble which is on the other side, because everything is symmetric in this pattern up till now. 1, 2, 3, like so. Chain 2, and now we're going to be working these chain 2s were not correct. Take out, and in the next 2 stitches, these 2 here, work 2 half double crochets. That's 1 in that first stitch and 2 in the second. Those first two stitches work 2 half double crochets. What we're going to do next is we're going to be working into this little half circle here from round 27. But first we're going to be making a chain 2, 1, 2, and now we're going to work clusters. So just like these green stitches we've done before, we're going to be making clusters of trebles, and the first one we're going to be making in this first of these 6 double crochets, and you're really going to have to move these leaves to the side to really get to that first stitch. There's that first stitch. Start with yarn twice over for the treble, move these stitches aside, and here I can see there's my first stitch. Enter into it, go 1, 2, so not the third, twice over, in the second stitch, 1, 2, and again twice over, and in the third stitch, 1, 2, and now I've got 4 loops on my hook, and I can take all 4 of these off in one go, and that gives me this stitch like so. You could move this little leaf back now if you want. We'll just slightly cover it again like that. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to repeat. So again, a cluster of trebles. So that's first one, the second, and the third, and this will of course bring you in stitch number 6, which is the last one on the first half here. So that, because here you see the picot which is bent backwards, and pull through again 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeating again on this side. Cut the yarn twice over. Make sure you find that first stitch correctly. That's this one here, especially because it's bent to the back. You could miss that stitch. 1, 2, in the second stitch, 1, 2, and the third one also. And my hook keeps on getting caught in Sophie. 2, and pull all of them off in one go, like so. Chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and repeat this cluster one last time, twice over. So here I've got 3 stitches, so then I know everything went well. So that's 1 in the second stitch is 2, and in the third stitch is 3, and pull them all off in one go, like so. And this has given you, like so, the top of the flower. I'm going to move these little leaves a little bit back because I just like that. Chain 2, one, 2, and then in this first of these half double crochets from round 28, I'm going to be making a half double crochet, and in the second stitch as well, and this then immediately brings you to the beginning of the repeat unit again, like so. Here you can now start with working into the front of these posts again, with only the first one a treble, and after that front post double crochets. So repeat everything that we've just done here, repeat that 3 more times. Round 30, got a new color yarn on my hook, and we're going to start in this chain 4 space here in the corner. So choose any corner that you like, and we're going to start with a standing double crochet in this corner stitch here, and like so, followed by 2 more double crochets in that same chain 4 space. So that's 3 double crochets, chain 2, 1, 2, and then 3 more double crochets in the same space. 1, 2, and 3, and that makes your corner. Then we're going to continue by making 5 double crochets in the next chain 4 space. That's this space here. I'm going to be making 5 double crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then spread them out a little bit, and in the next one we're also going to be making 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, like so. So you've now made 2 times 5 double crochets on those 2 chain 4 spaces. Spread them out a little bit. Now what we're going to do is we have these 2 half double crochets here. We're going to skip those 2, and in the first of these 2 front post treble crochets that we have here, in that first one, enter into that first stitch and make a slip stitch, like so. And then by doing so you're connecting this little petal, this little flower petal to this part of your work. In the next chain 2 space, which is this space here, I'm going to be making 8 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That gives you a very full flower petal, like so. And again, make a slip stitch into the next, so skipping this first stitch here, so it's already a bit buried underneath these, so skipping that first stitch, and then the second front post double crochet, make a slip stitch. So after this slip stitch in that second front post double crochet, we're going to move to the back of the work on round 28, which for me here is this green color here, and we're now going to be working a series of single crochets in those green stitches, going to the back and then going into that first single crochet stitch that you have there. If I just make like this, you're now at the moment in this position here. I'll just take out the hook. This is where you are right now. If I just, but then on row 29, so this is where you are. So this stitch here is the first stitch that you're going to be working into, and we're going to be making a single crochet in that stitch. Pick up my yarn, go to the back and pick up a stitch in row 28. That's one single crochet, and in the next stitch also a single crochet. So in 2 single crochet stitches you've now made 2 single crochets as well. Then the chain 2 space, 2 single crochets on that chain 2 space from round 28. In this little unit of 4 single crochets, we're going to be making 8 of those. So 2 in the single crochets and 2 in the chain 2 spaces. So that's 1, and then 2 here, and 2 in the chain 2 space, and that's number 2. So repeat this until you've made 8 of these along here, so along the back of round 29 into row 28. So after you've made 8 of these little repeats here, you will have 32 single crochets on this line, and then in the next 2 stitches, which are again single crochets, stitches, make 2 more single crochets, and that will give you in total 34 single crochets. Now we go back to round 29, so I'm going to just bring this pink row forward, and we're going to start again with a slip stitch in the first of these 2 front post double crochets here. Just going to pick up, because this is what you're going to do here is basically the same as that you've done here before, so but then just working the other way. So in this first stitch, this first front post stitch, I'm just going to enter into it and make a slip stitch like so, and then 8 double crochets in this chain 2 space here. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and number 8. Got a beautiful flower petal going there. Skipping the next 2 front post trebles, so that's these two here, and then in that stitch there make a slip stitch. So in this first of these two half double crochets, make a slip stitch like so. So then you're connecting this flower petal to this side of your work as well. Then skipping of course this half double here, you're going to be making 5 double crochets in this chain 2 space, or chain 4 space I should say. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and we're going to be doing the same in the next chain 4 space. Again 5 double crochets. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, which brings us to the corner. Just going to turn my work a bit. Sophie's getting a little bit bigger, slowly but surely. And then a double crochet in this, but we're going to make the corner, so that's going to be 3 double crochets in this chain 4 space right on the top, chain 2 and 3 more double crochets. 1, 2 and 3, and that brings you to the beginning of the repeat unit again. So from here onwards you would, if I just spread this out a little bit, you'd make here again 5 double crochets and 5 double crochets, and then work your way forward again, and at a certain point going back on 2 rounds to 88 again. So what I've just shown you, this entire stretch, do that for 3 more times and close with a slip stitch in the beginning, and I'll see you for round 31. So on to round 31. Now, there are a lot of things happening in this round, but I'll take you through it step by step. So I've got a new color yarn on my hook, and in the corner, this corner here, I'm going to start with a standing single crochet like so, and if you're using the same color, do a chain 1 and a standing and then a single crochet. So it's 1 single crochet in the corner. I'm going to do chain 2, 1, 2 and another single crochet. That gives you that little corner stitch there, and then you're ready to start the repeat unit. Now on the next 12 double crochets, I'm going to be making single crochets, so on the next 12 stitches. So here you've got 3 and 5, and of course here the first few. So I'm going to count these off. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this gives you 8, and then 4 more, so this is 9, 10, 11 and 12. So on those first 12 stitches, like so. What we're going to be doing now is skipping this next double crochet. That's this one here. I'm going to be skipping that stitch, and then make a front post double crochet around the first front post treble, so that this one here, as this pink one from round 29. So So we're going to make a front post double crochet around this stitch, like so. Pick up the stitch and make the front post double crochet. And from here we're going to basically work on the back again for a moment, because we're going to be making back post single crochets in each of these 8 double crochets that we've made here. So on the slightly on the back, because this is sometimes easy if you work, but I'll show you from the front. So that first stitch, that first post, go around that post, pick up the yarn and make a single crochet. So that's one. From the front here you can see, of course that first one is a little tricky, you can see it. That's one. And this is a little tight everywhere here. And that's 2. And that is 3. So working around these posts from the back is 4. You can see how it's growing here from the front, and here you can see these stitches on the back. That's 4. And then 5, 6, and then number 7, and the last one, number 8, which is again a bit tricky because there we go, it's getting closer to these stitches here. So now I've made 8 back post single crochets around these 8 double crochets here. So now again going to be making a front post double crochet around the next, around this first front post double crochet on this side, or actually the second I should say. We're going to skip the first one, and around the second make a front post double crochet, so that's symmetric to this side here where you've also done it in the outer one. So this front post, the second one, pick up and make a front post double crochet like so. So after this front post double crochet, we're now going to work 2 double crochets on the next 2 stitches, and those are these 2 stitches here from round 30. Those are 2 single crochets worked into 2 single crochets from the round underneath, so not these 2 single crochets from the chain space. So we also make sure you really get into that first stitch, which is easy to skip because there are so many stitches here in the same position. And the second one is on that second single crochet, so those first 2 stitches. Then we're going to be making a front post double crochet around these posts from round 29, like so. 1 and 2. So now can you see how you've made 2 double crochets on the back and 2 double crochets here on the front? You see what's happening there. After these 2 front post double crochets, we're going to skip these next 2 stitches here in the back, so they are directly behind these front post stitches. And these 2 stitches that you're skipping are the 2 single crochets worked into that little chain 2 space. So the next stitch you're going to be working in is this stitch here. So see how you skip those 2, and these 2 stitches are worked into the single crochets of round 28, I believe that is. But in this stitch here, I'm going to be working a half double crochet, and also in the second stitch work a half double crochet. So you can see you've made 2 double crochets, then 2 front post double crochets, and now you've made 2 half double crochets. And of course a little bit of logic will tell you that you now need to be making 2 front post half double crochets on these 2 front posts here. So that's 1 half double crochet and the next half double crochet, like so. And again, going one step smaller, skipping these first 2 stitches again. Our next stitch is going to be here, so you see how you've skipped those 2, and make a single crochet and again a single crochet. So in this back row here, you're only working in single crochets that are also made in a single crochet and not those made in the small chain 2 space. So 2 single crochets, and now front post single crochets around these front post double crochets. Make that 1 front post and second front post. In this little unit here, going to be repeating, we repeat it 3 more times, so you do it 4 times in total. So again to the back, skipping these first 2 stitches again, pick it up as 1 single crochet and 2, and then come to the front again. That's 1, 2. So now I've done this repeat 2 times. I'm going to do number 3, skip 2 stitches, and the first one is again everything working into stitches that are made in single crochets and not in the chain 2 spaces. Yes, and then come to the front again and work 1 standing front post single crochet and the second. So now we've done this 3 times. So for time repeat number 4, skip 2 stitches at the back, 1 and 2. Always check your stitches that you're still working in the correct stitches. And I see that I've just made a mistake. You can see here that I've only skipped 1 stitch and not 2. I could see that this was happening because this doesn't line up well with that, and there's a stitch in between here. So this is how I saw that I made a mistake. By continuously checking your work, you can find your mistakes early enough and prevent major disasters where you have to pull out like many rows because things don't seem to line up anymore. So it's 2 to the back, and then your last here is 1 single crochet and second front post single crochet. So now you've done this repeat 4 times, and now we can start building up again. And we start with 2 single crochets on the back, 2 stitches again. So that's 1 and 2. Then here to the front, 2 half double front post crochets. So it's 1 half double and the second front post half double crochet, like so. Then go to the back again, and of course again skipping 2 stitches. So those 2, make 2 half double crochets on the next 2 stitches, like so. You can see how you're slowly building up, and in this stitch here we're again going to be making 2 front post double crochets. That's 1 and 2. The 2 front post double crochets are then followed by 2 double crochets on the back. Oops, that's a half double. 1 and 2. And now you have a very nice straight edge here in that purple yarn from round 31. And now we can get to the corner again, and we'll start by making a front post double crochet around this first front post here. So let me just do that'll be this stitch here. Make a front post double crochet around that stitch, and then we're going to be making back post single crochets on each of these 8 double crochets here, and especially the first one can be very tricky. So around that post, like so, make a single crochet. That's 1. In the second post, working on the back, so making a back post from back to front, right to left. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the last one is 8. Oh, wait, something went wrong here. There you go. 8. So 8 single crochets on the back of these 8 double crochets. Again, a front post double crochet. I'm just going to turn my work. That's easier. A front post double crochet around this second front post here. So that's like so. You get a nice symmetrical pattern happening here. I'm going to skip the next double crochet, so that's going to be that stitch there, and then on the next 12 stitches going to make double crochets. Oh no, sorry, single crochets in the next 12 double crochet stitches. So skipping this first stitch here, on that stitch make a single crochet. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and number 12 brings you to the corner where you are going to be making a single crochet. Just need a bit more yarn, chain 2 and a single crochet, and then you're back at the beginning. Oh sorry, I didn't make one chain 1 there. Yes, so that's single crochet followed by 2 chain stitches, not just 1, so 1, 2, and then a single crochet. Then you've gone around the corner and you can start this whole process again. It's very complex, I realize this. Let's take it step by step, look closely at the pattern, and especially here keep on continuing to see half double crochets, single crochets, double crochets. Really check your pattern and make sure you don't make any unnecessary mistakes, because then this is going to be a beautiful straight edge that you have here. Round 32, new color yarn on my hook. Start in any corner with a standing single crochet. If you're using the same color, slip stitch to the corner, chain 1 and a single crochet. From here, chain 2, that's 1, 2, and another single crochet in that corner. Now what we're going to do is in the first 12 stitches we're going to be making back post single crochets. Now these back posts can be a little tricky, and to make it easier for myself I'm going to work from the back of my work, because then my back posts become front post. I'm going to turn my work around and then work in the back of my stitches. So here around that first stitch, make a single crochet. So that's 1, then around the next stitch, because I'm working from the back around the post of the stitch, I'm working as though it is a front post, a back, but actually it becomes a back post this way. It's 2 and 3, and you're working around single crochet, so your posts aren't exactly very big here. You don't have an awful lot of room here. Working around a post of a double crochet is of course much easier, but I'm getting there. Oh, which shouldn't talk too soon because I've just lost that stitch. There we go. So how many have I made? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this does take some effort. And that is 6. And that is post around 7. There we go. And number 8, and you continue like this until you've made 12 of these stitches. So after you've made 12 of these back post single crochets, you can see them here from the front, you can see the stripes from the front, you make a back post half double crochet around the next stitch. So this was stitched, let me see, I've now worked around this stitch here, so now I need this one here, that's the last one here in the row. I'm going to be making a back post half double crochet, there we go, around that stitch, like so. You can see here, these are all single crochets in, and that is a half double crochet. What we're going to do now is I'm just going to bring my work back to the front. So what we're going to be doing now is going to be working trebles, but we're going to be working them here in this chain 2 space. I'll just show you that chain 2 space from round 28. Now, so this is this green space here. We're going to be working in. We're going to be making 3 treble crochets in that chain 2 space. So twice over into that space and make 1, 2, 3. It's 1 treble. Next 1, 2, 3, and once more. That is 1, 2, 3. So really we have to bring these flower petals forward to work in that chain 2 space. And you're going to be doing the same in the next chain 2 space here as well. That's that one there. Also going to be working 3 trebles into that space. So again, twice over, and in this next chain 2 space from round 28, work 3 trebles. So that's 1, 2, and 3. There you go. You can see how you've made those 2 series of trebles. Then you can bring that leaf forward again, because you're going to be skipping all of those stitches. And what you're going to be doing from here is skipping this little flower petal here. In these next 34 stitches, going to be working single crochets. So you're going to skip the petal and you're going to skip this treble here. So the next stitch we're working into is not this one. This is the stitch from the treble, or from the double crochet, I should say. From here, the stitch next to it, that is your first stitch you're picking up. You're working a single crochet in that stitch. So this is a double crochet stitch, if I recall correctly. 2, 3, 4, 5, and you continue like this until you've made 34 stitches, and the last stitch, so number 34, should fall in the stitch before the front post double crochet on the other side. So that is this stitch here, the equivalent on the symmetry, if we go to the symmetry. So that should be the last stitch. So work all of these stitches, and this should be 34 stitches. So make 34 single crochets. So this was stitch number 34. So if you count all of these stitches, they are exactly 34 single crochets. And now we're going to be doing the same on this side as we've done on the other side, which means we're going to be working 3 trebles on the back here in these chain 2 spaces there from round 28. So I'm going to work 1 treble, second, and the third treble, and of course also the same in this chain 2 space here as well. Also work 3 trebles into that. Just number 2 and number 3, like so. You're again going to skip this entire double crochet series here, and we're going to be working half double crochet in this first single crochet stitch there. So we're again going to be skipping that front post there in this first single crochet, work a back post half double crochet, that's the stitch there, work a half double crochet, back post half double crochet around this very first single crochet. And now on all of these stitches here, I'm going to be working back post single crochets, and I'll flip my work in a moment, but so this is the reason why I'm doing it, because working it from the front is just for me slightly more difficult, but for you I'm showing you that it is possible. So there I've made 2 back post single crochets. Now continue like that all the way to the corner, and in the corner stitch you do single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, and then you're at the beginning of the repeat unit, and this you do 3 more times, and then I'll see you for the second half for round 33. Round 33, I have a new color yarn on my hook, And I'm going to start with a standing single crochet in the corner. If you're using the same color yarn, make a slip stitch into the corner, chain 1 and then a single crochet, chain 2 and single crochet in the corner. Now we're going to be making single crochets on the next 20 stitches. So that's going to be all of these stitches, and we're actually also going to be working them on the trebles. So on the first 20 stitches. That first stitch, make sure you get that first stitch properly, because that's immediately, that's space there after the corners. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and the last one, number 20. You can see here how number 20 is worked on that last treble from those 6 trebles that we made. So that's the first part of this round, which is 20 single crochets on the 20 stitches. After these 20 single crochets, we're ready to start making the V's, and the V's we're going to be making in front of our work through these little loops here. These little loops are from round, are chain 2 spaces from round 29, and we'll be making the V's in these spaces here. Start with chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then enter into this loop from round 29 and make a slip stitch. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then go back up and skip 3 stitches. Now this is the stitch we're currently in up here, so then skipping 1, 2, 3 stitches in this stitch here, number 4, make a single crochet, and this stitch is also on top of the second of these 2 front post stitches here. So you can see it's on this, on the line of that second front post there. So that's a check for you. They should always be on the second of these posts. And we're in total going to be doing this 9 times, that you have 9 of these little V's. So again, chain 3, 2, 3, go into the next chain 2 space from round 29, slip stitch, chain 3, go back up, skip 1, 2, 3 stitches, and in stitch number 4 make a single crochet. You can see how this is again on that second of those 2 front posts that you have there together. So this in total we're going to be doing 9 times. I'll show you once more. 1, 2, 3 chain stitches, into that chain 2 space make a slip stitch, and 1, 2, 3 chain stitches, back up, 1, 2, 3, you're skipping, and in stitch number 4 make a single crochet. So repeat this until you have made 9 of these little V's. I've just completed 8 of these little hills, these little V's, and I'm about to complete number 9, And what you'll notice here is that I'm skipping 1, 2, 3 stitches, and number 4, that's this stitch here, so skipping 1, 2, 3, is actually on the second treble. So you're not completely symmetric with the first half, because because this first stitch here was on the first treble, so it's not completely symmetric. So single crochet, and now you've finished all these little waves, and then on the next 18 stitches make single crochets, and that will bring you to the corner. So make sure that you're counting. Oh dear, I just have a knot in my yarn. There we go. So like I say, 18 until you get to the edge, and then you make again 1 single crochet, chain 2, and a single crochet, and then you're at the beginning of the repeat unit again. You go like this all the way around, and then you're one step further to completing part 4, and your squared motif, which is then Sophie's garden. And I just need to get into this stitch here, and the last one, which is this one. So then I've made 19 in total, because this first one is then the last stitch of this little V, and 18 single crochets. Then in the corner, that is this stitch here, single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet. Then repeat this 3 more times, and then I'll see you at the beginning of the next round. Round 34, got a new color yarn on my hook, and I'm going to start with a standing half double crochet in the corner, a second half double crochet in that same corner, chain 2, 1, 2. I'm going to just move these stitches aside a bit, because I need to make 2 more half double crochets in the corner. So that's 1 and 2. This way you've now made the corner stitch. We're now going to skip this first stitch, it's a little bit hidden anyway, and then make 20 half double crochets in 20 stitches. So this first stitch here we're going to be skipping. There's that stitch, skip that stitch, and here in the second stitch make a half double crochet, and this way you're also going to be closing it a little bit, so you see it's falling over that first stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue like this until you've made 20 half double crochets. Just made 20 half double crochets. Now we're going to be making half double crochets in these 3 stitches that we've skipped before. When we were making these little V's, these little hills, we skipped 3 stitches. So those 3 stitches we're now going to be working in. So this is the first one. Make a half double crochet, and the second make a half double, and the third make half double crochets. We're now going to be making a back post single crochet around this little space here. So this is the top of this of the V of the hill. Make a back post single crochet, and then this little unit, this 3 and this single crochet, we're going to repeat that 8 more. We're going to do it 8 times, so repeat it 7 more times. So this was 1, and then on these 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and then around V again gives you the second repeat. So we do this 8 times. When you've done 8 of these repeats, you'll end up on the top of this last wave of this wave here, and then you have 3 more half double crochet stitches that you need to make on these 3 stitches there. So that's 1, 2, 3. And now you need to make 20 half double crochets on the next 20 stitches. And especially this first stitch is important not to accidentally skip. And that's this stitch here. There you go. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and keep on counting them. That's 10, to make sure that you don't indeed have accidentally skipped, for example, that first stitch. It's 12, 13, 14. You need to get a bit more yarn. And then this is 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then number 20 is on that last stitch. There you go. See how that last stitch just before the corner, and then in the corner I'm going to be making 2 half double crochets, chain 2, and 2 more half double crochets, and that brings you at the beginning of the repeat unit again. So this you're going to repeat 3 more times, and then I'll see you again for round 35. Round 35, I have a new color yarn on my hook, and as such round 35 isn't too bad considering to all the things you've had to do up until now. Start in any corner and start with a half double crochet, standing half double crochet in the corner. That's 1, and then make a second half double crochet, chain 2, 1, 2, and then 2 more half double crochets. That's your corner stitch there. Now we're again, just like the previous round, going to skip this first stitch. It's also a slightly hidden stitch. It's the stitch that's here. We're going to skip that, and the first stitch we're going to enter into is this one here. So you can, and then by moving that corner aside, you don't even notice that there was a stitch there. So that's number 1. I'm going to make 17 more because we're going to be making 18 half double crochets. So that was 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, then this is number 18. So you now made 18 half double crochets, and now what we want to do is we want to connect this flower petal here that's still a little bit loose. We want to connect to the rest of our work. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making a back post double crochet around the 4th back post single crochet from these petals. So now we've got to count a little bit. So we've got here stitch number 1, 2, 3, 4. So this stitch here, we want to make a back post around that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to make a back post double crochet. Stitch over. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the stitch we're going for. And if you don't get this in the first go, do not worry. This is a little tricky. There we go. And make a double crochet. There you go. So this way you're now connected this petal to the rest. So this way you're making sure that it doesn't flop about everywhere. We're going to continue with a whole series of half double crochets. Back to the row we were working in, we're going to skip this one stitch here, and that stitch is the next one we're going to be working in. Again, because this half double crochet we've just made, of course, also needs a space. So skip that first stitch, and in the second stitch enter into and make a half double crochet like so. This is then the first half double crochet of 40 that we're going to be making along this edge. So make 40 half double crochets, and then we're again going to be connecting the flower petal on the other side. So I see you after I've made 40 half double crochets. So after making 40 of these half double crochets, we're going to be doing the same on this flower petal that we just did on the other side, and that is connecting it with a back post double crochet around the 4th of these single crochets. So let's just make that count again. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. So around this stitch here, find that post and then make a double crochet around that back post as a back post, like so. We're going to be doing the same as on the other side, which means skipping this stitch here. So that's the last stitch we worked into, so skip that stitch, and then the next one I'm going to be making a half double crochet. And then this is the first of 18 stitches which will bring you to the corner. So when you've made all 18 half double crochets, you should have reached the corner. Then you make 2 half doubles in the corner, chain 2, and 2 more half double crochets, and then you're at the beginning of the repeat unit again. And then you do everything 3 more times, and then you're almost at a point that you've completely squared off your Sophie. And then we've got 1 more row to go. So work until the corner, make the corner, repeat 3 more times, and I'll see you for the last round. Round 36. I have a new color yarn on my hook. I'm going to start in a corner with a standing single crochet. followed by a chain 2 and another crochet in that same space. From here onwards it's all reasonably straightforward in the sense that each and every stitch I'm going to be making a back post half double crochet. So I have my yarn over and back to front around that first stitch, make a half double crochet, and the second stitch make a half double crochet, number 2, and number 3, and you're going to continue like this all the way round. And this is a time-consuming effort, so take your time on this. You can also turn your work over, and then you'll be making front post double crochets instead of back post. You can see here the stripes from the back posts. Work like this steadily, one stitch at a time. And build your way all around. And each and every stitch you make a half post, back half. Let me try that again. This is a difficult word if you try to say it too fast. Back post half double crochet all the way around, and in the corner you make a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, like this corner here. So go all the way around and then end up with a slip stitch in this first stitch. And when you're done with that, I'll show you how to make the flower petal here as an optional extra, but which I do think is very nice, so I'm definitely going to be making that for my Sophie. So go all the way around and I'll see you for the last part. So when you've completed round 36, you see you have a lovely edge here with these back post half double crochets. Now if you want to, you can also make flower petals on top of your Sophie in this little stitch bow here. You see here I've made these flower petals, so it's up to you whether or not you want to make them. I kind of like them, so I'm going to show you how to do them, but if you don't like them, just leave them, just forget about it. Got a color yarn on my hook. Of course you don't have to make these petals the same color, you can make them all different color if you want. Start with a slip stitch. We're going to be working in these single crochets we worked here in the back, these back post single crochets. In that very first stitch, that one there, that very first back post single crochet, make a slip stitch. Yes. And in the next stitch immediately following, make 4 half double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the next stitch make a slip stitch. In this little repeat we're going to be making 3 more times, so the 4 half double crochets and the slip stitch. So in the next stitch, this one, again make 4 half double crochets. So that's 2, 3, 4, and in the stitch immediately after, this stitch here, so this is stitch number 4, so this is a stitch that you've made that half double, we made that double crochet around, that back post double crochet, so that's number 2. Then in this stitch immediately after, another flower petal, it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, followed by again a slip stitch in the next stitch, so that's petal number 3, and then in the last one again 1, 2, 3, 4 half double crochets, and the last slip stitch is on top of this front post double crochet on this side. That's where the last slip stitch is in. Then you can cut off your yarn, pull through and work away your ends. And then you've completed part 4 of your Sophie, and then you may rightly be very proud of yourself. You've now made Sophie's garden, which is the square pattern, and most probably your pattern looks lovely. Congratulations, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on part 5.